Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
first, this is the first one. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So just to get the employee details whose salary is greater than their average
Mm-hmm.
salary, I made
Mm-hmm.
use of the subquery where
Okay.
I identified the average salary using this particular subquery which was highlighted. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making use of this average salary. I mean, using the where class condition. So
Mm-hmm.
we are having the salary greater than the average salary. I'm printing all
Okay.
the employee details with this one.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just run this. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
these are the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. So my average salary value is
Hmm.
7.
Okay. Okay.
This is one thing, and the other thing. So the issues when I'm trying to execute this C task. So
Mm-hmm.
I just created a raw table with some schema,
Mm-hmm.
and I inserted some values along with the null values as well.
Okay.
So using this one, for some reason I'm seeing error. Like when I checked outside, so it was saying in SQL server this was not allowed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but I did it in another way, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the way that I just performed it. I'm just injecting the values using select.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, any way is fine because each database supports one of the way.
Yeah,
So I think here select into table is the method
yeah.
that
Into
we.
table is the method.
So instead of CTAS, usually in other database systems or in data warehouse systems,
Yeah,
so it is actually create a table as a select.
yeah,
So here it is select into table. So that is something that
yeah.
is different.
It's being allowed in Azure Synapse and
Yeah.
particularly in Microsoft. That's
So
what I.
maybe the reason is we are not using enterprise version of the SQL Server. We are just using the trial version of it, and we are not installed any kind of data warehouse features. We just installed a database engine. So maybe that is the reason we are not able to utilize the entire features of the data warehouse functionalities. Maybe
Yeah.
that's yeah.
So this is my raw table which I
Okay.
get with the null values and post replacing with this is what the output wherever there is null in
Hmm.
every column, so it was replaced with NA. And
Okay.
the
So
other and
where is the query for it?
yeah,
How you
here,
replace the
here
null?
is the query.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular value,
Mm-hmm.
um, sorry, yeah, I already ran the table, so I need to drop the table if I.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this particular value is in the decimal format. So
Mm-hmm.
since we cannot uh, cast this value to the integer, I mean the varchar, in, so I just casted this salary value, and then I'm just
Okay. So
replacing.
instead of that, Sai, so you should have replaced the null with zero, right?
Yeah,
So end of the day for all the integers, right? So we cannot cast them because there will be some mathematical operations or some aggregations should be performed on those integer columns,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So if we cast it, we cannot do those operations. For example, if we want to calculate average max, median kind of operations on top of a string column, it is not possible, right?
Yes.
So if it is a, if you convert it to zero, wherever it is null, if it is if you convert it to zero, then we can actually do all the aggregation operations.
Yes.
So majority of the times in real-time projects, wherever we have nulls in the integer columns, we replace them to zeros because it may affect the further layers, right?
Yes.
So that is the reason. That's okay. I mean, for
Mm.
you, with your understanding, you have done a solution. That is absolutely fine. But going forward, whenever we are replacing anything in the integer columns, make sure you're not changing the state of its
Yeah.
type. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Sai, for sharing the content. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our today's session, guys. Uh, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So today we will see few important functions along with these few other statements. Okay. There's the mute. Okay, fine. So today we will see a like statement, how we actually use like statement in SQL, and then we see case when statement. Okay, so how actually we can utilize case when statement. Okay, so let us try to understand how these functions will work. We'll start with like statement. Okay, so I have a retail database, or else I have employee details table. Okay, so here if you see, I have employee name, salary, and the department number. So similarly, I will go and fetch select star from customers. So I have the customers table, and I'll go and see product, select star from products. Okay, so this is my products table, and then select star from orders. So this is my orders table. Let me see what else we have. Order details. So I have select star from order underscore or order details. Okay. So here, if you see, these are my tables, right? So when you are using a like statement, so like means it is actually matching the wildcard patterns. Okay. So what does it exactly mean? So let us try to understand. I have customers table wherein my first name is this and my last name is this. Okay, so there may be a scenario wherein the users want to search the data based on some pattern condition. Okay, so like how the pattern should be, the first name should starts with E, or first name should starts with MI, or first name should starts with VEN, or first name should starts with uh, something like SCI, SI. So they have some patterns. Okay, so if they want to query, or if they want to apply those patterns in the string column, then we'll use this like statement. Okay, so how actually we can utilize this like statement? So like statements, we always use them inside or after the where clause. Okay, select star from the table where first name, first name like is the statement that we need to use. So here, if you see, I need the employees, or I need the customers whose first name is start J. Okay, whose first name is starting with J. Okay, in that case, you will use this while. So here, if you see J percentile. So when you do this, it means that it should starts with J. It should starts with J, and then it may have anything after J. Okay. So the percentile refers anything. Okay. So but it should starts with J. Okay. Similarly, if you keep J at the end, okay, so it can starts with anything, but it should ends with J. Okay, it should ends with J. So that is the importance of this percentile wildcard. Okay, for example, if you put like this, okay, so it can have anything before J, it can have anything after J, but it should have J in between. Okay, so we'll see these examples. Okay, so first let me see how actually it will return the data if I give percentile a wild card with the like statement. Okay, see, I have two customers whose first name is starting with uh, J. Okay, so again I'm just adding one more condition whose last name like, okay, ending with H. Okay, so this condition will be satisfied by only one uh, customer whose first name is Jane and the last name is Smith. Okay, so this is something that you need to understand. So the like statements are very, very important. So you can always use like statements with negation also, meaning not. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So let us try to see not like. So when you say not like, it is like not equals to condition. So apart from the first names uh, whose first name starting with J, you will get everything, the remaining names. Okay, so you can use the actual like operator to match the equals to true condition, and you can also use not like operator to match negation of your equals to condition. Okay, so this is the usage of your like condition. So let me test one thing here. So here, if you see, I have. Mhm. Yeah. So these are the two wild cards you need to understand, guys. Percentile and underscore. So percentile refers, it will give the complete meaning in such a way that anything should be there in the percentile place. So if you specify the percentile in the like condition, that means anything should be there in the percentile space. But if you specify the underscore, it refers to a specific character. Okay, so it refers to a specific character, meaning here, if you see, I have specified J underscore N. Okay, meaning after J, it may be any character, but the third character should be N again, right? So it will match that condition. With respect to underscore, you can specify the character positions. Okay, so here, if you see, you can specify another underscore, and then it may be anything. The third character also, it may be anything, but the last character should be E, and then after that you can have anything. So if you see this, so this is how you will use underscore and percentile. But you cannot specify underscore for everything, right? So here, if you see, I specified percentile. After J, it may be anything. But if you say after J, it may be anything, but it should also ends with N, right? So when you do this, it will give John. So you can specify multiple characters with percentile, but you cannot specify everything with underscore. So underscore is a character specific. Let us say each underscore refers to each character. So if you say two underscores, then three underscores. So if you say at the end it should be n, then there is nothing matching. So let us say another underscore, nothing matching. Underscore two. Yeah, see. So this is how you need to know the difference between underscore and percentile. Underscore you'll specify for a specific character position. Let us say for the first two characters, it may be anything, but the third character should be n. After that, everything should be there. So in that scenarios, the combination of percentile and underscore you should understand. Okay. So in real time projects, you never know how the requirement comes in. They may ask you anything like this: hey, my first name should starts with J, okay, and my third character should be M N, and then my 16th character or sixth character should be H, okay, and then after H it may be anything. Okay, it may be anything. So then in that case, you'll follow this kind of annotation. And few requirements comes in. Hey, I have my employee name can starts with anything, but in between I should be having uh, this string. Okay, so you should know the patterns how actually you can utilize these two. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any questions with this percentile and underscore along with the like statement? Any questions?
Yeah, clear.
No, thank you.
Okay, so here this is something that you need to understand. So how you need to fetch the data, depending on that you need to apply the logic. Okay, so I will give you few tasks at the end of the class which will cover these things. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. So you can explore more on these two things. So with respect to like statement, we have seen like and not like, and we have seen percentile wildcard, and we have seen underscore wildcard. Okay, so that is about the like statement. Now let us understand the case when statement. Okay, so this case when statement is very very important in real time projects, guys, because the reason is case when always will be utilized to derive new columns with different logics and conditions. Okay, so for example, you have a column that is already there in your raw data, and you need to derive a new column with lot of conditions. Okay, with lot of conditions depending on the existing column. Okay, so I will give you a scenario how actually we can utilize this case when statement. Okay, here if you see, I have my employee details table. In my employee details table, I have a salary column. Okay, I have a salary column. So uh, uh, my business owner thought like to classify the employees based on the salary ranges. Okay, to classify the employees based on the salary ranges. Okay, now the employees who are taking some x amount of salary or greater than x less than y amount of salaries in between the range, those employees I classified into a category as low. Okay, and then employees who are taking salaries in some y to z range, in that case I want to classify them into a medium flag. In similarly, employees who are taking more than some z to m or something, so those employees are high category. So the classification that business is expecting is based on the raw data that I already have. Okay, I need to see the classification as well. All right. So how you will apply that classification? So in that scenario, you can utilize this case when statement. Okay, you can utilize this case when statement. So the classification of the data or derived columns, we commonly use this word derived columns. So when we have raw column, okay, and if we want to derive a new column based on this raw column, then in that case we will actually use this case when statement. Okay, so how we will use this case when statement, and what is the syntax for it, and what is the functionality, we will see it now. Okay, so here we will define the requirement first. Okay, we will define the requirement first. Here if you see, I have my a salary column. I have my salary column, and my requirements are customers who are taking salary between 2000 to 3000, their band is E1. Okay, and similarly, sorry, employees who are taking salary between 2000 to 3000, their band is E. So people who already are working in an organization, so we may have some bands, right? So based on our pay scale, we may have some bands. So the band is defined for you from the organization level itself, right? So how they will define that band? So by using this kind of case when statements only. Okay, so here if you see, employees who are taking, so how we will comment, so this is the comment in SQL server. Okay, employees who are taking salary between 3000 to 4000, so they fall into E2 category. Similarly, employees who are taking salary above 4000, okay, they fall into E3 category. Okay, this is how you need to derive a new column classifying their bands. Okay, so so I need a new column which will show the each employee band, right? So based on this requirement, so in that scenario, so how you need to use the case when statement, right? So let us see, select star comma case when salary greater than 2000 and less than, sorry, and salary less than 3000, then, right, so then E1. Okay, so similarly another when statement I have. Okay, so when salary greater than 3000, And here we'll keep equals to greater than or equals to 3000, and salary less than 4000, then E2. Again, when salary greater than or equals to 4000, then E3. If it is not matching any of these conditions, so we need to go for else. Else, go for others. Okay. End. You need to end the case statement. Okay. As employee underscore band. Okay, this is the new derived column aliasing, we know, right? So how we will give alias or rename a column. So from employee underscore details. Okay, see this. Right, so this is how we will actually write the case statements. Okay, so in real time you may see 100 lines of case statement also, because it depends on the conditions, right? So for example, if you see the products, right, I mean products table in a retail industry. So product category is something that will have a lot of products in it. Okay, so those all products will be placed based on the conditions and based on the patterns only. Be very very clear. Okay, so this case when has its own importance. Okay, so we can apply this case when on any kind of a column. Okay, so you can always do the null replacement also here. Okay, so for example, but it always creates a new column, guys. Don't change your existing data. Like your collies, you can also do the null handling in case when. So this is how you can actually implement your case when. So remember the syntax: case when condition. Okay, case when condition, then the value. When this condition satisfies, what is the value that needs to be placed? Okay, else, if this condition did not satisfy, what is the value that should be placed? Okay, and similarly, if you have multiple conditions, you can use multiple when statements at a time. It is possible. Okay, if you have multiple when statements or multiple conditions, you can always utilize multiple when statements. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any questions in handling or in writing case when statements? Any questions or queries? Anybody have any queries?
No.
No. Hope it is clear. So this is actually condition based operation. Case when is a statement that we'll use in SQL to apply the conditions on the raw data column and derive a new column depending on the conditions that we have. Okay. So similarly, you can apply this case when statement along with all your string based functions also. So let us see that. So select case when employee name like J percentile N. Okay, so employee J percentile S, let us say I have J James in my data. So S in between I can have anything. Okay. So and then so if employee name is this, then then I want to change the department from 10 to 20. Okay. So then department underscore number, then 20. Okay. So we'll keep the value, then 20. Else department number. See, so the existing department number is 10, but as we it is matching the condition in the when clause, so you can see the department number got changed, right? So you can always use your string patterns, or all the functions that we learned, right? So you can always use them along with your case when statements. There is no restriction as such. Okay. So this is about the case when. So now we have seen the select statement and we have seen the case when statement. Okay. So and we have seen case when with multiple conditions also. Okay. This is how you will specify multiple with and or you can specify depending on the requirement. Okay. So this is about the case when statement. Just give me a minute. So let me check something. Yeah. So we'll see the order by clause now. Okay. So here, if you see, if you want to order your data, if you want to order your data, right? Then you always use order by clause. Okay. Okay. So by default, your order by clause will go for your order by clause will go for ascending order. Okay. Here, if you see, I need to sort or I need to order my data depending on the salary column. Okay. I need to order my data depending on the salary column. In that order by clause. So we have an inbuilt function or we have an inbuilt clause in SQL which is called order by. So this order by clause will order your data. Okay, by default it will prefer ordering your data in ascending order. Okay, so by default it will prefer ordering your data in ascending order, but you can always specify which order you want. So you can specify descending order by DESC. So this descending order, you can specify using the DESC. So the functionality of order by clause is to order the data based on the particular column value. Okay, based on the particular column value. So here you see the ordered data. You see the ordered data based on the salary. Okay, if you want to order based on the ID, that is also possible. Okay, it may be any column, guys. It may be any column. Okay, you still can order You still can order based on the string columns also. It will go for it will go with some kind of alphabetic notation. Okay, internally it will take. So here, if you see, it ordered based on the employee name. Okay, it ordered based on the employee name. You still can apply this ordering based on the employee name. Okay, so that is something that you need to understand. So this order by, majority of the times we don't use this order by on top of the string columns. We use this order by on uh, on integer columns only. Okay, so let us see how actually. See, it is giving, it is when you do order by, when you do order by, it is giving the first preference to your null, very lowest value, right? So you need to understand this null behavior also. Okay, you applied your order by clause on top of the department number column, but it has taken the null values as the lowest precedence. Okay, so, and then when you say descending, it won't the null will go to the end, right? Any questions in order by clause? Any questions, guys? Okay, so the next concept that we are going to see is group by. Okay, so group by is actually a very important function in SQL. Okay, here if you see, I want to calculate, let me update my employee details table. Update set department okay. Okay, so I just replaced my null values. I need to update one more thing also. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope you're able to hear me. I lost my connection. There is a power issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we are discussing about group by class. Let me share my screen. Okay. So group by is a very important clause in SQL. So the importance of group by is to group your data. Okay, depending on a particular column, you can group data and you perform aggregations on top of that group. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So let us take an example, guys. We have a retail business. Okay, so we have a retail business, or we have a college where we have ECE, triple E, or CSC departments in the college, right? So in each department, many students will join, right? So at a college level, principal want to understand how the revenue of the college from the department wise, right? So for every department, principal wants to calculate the revenue, right? So when we pay the fee as a student, when we pay the fee with respect to the department, so they will take the fee and they will enter our details and they will say, okay, so this particular roll number has paid this amount and he belongs to this department. Okay, so they will enter these details, right? Who are there in the cash counter or who are in the administrative office. So they will take the fee from us and they will enter the details in the application, and then they will enter the details, right? So on a high level, principal want to know each department what is the actually the revenue that got generated by the college, right? So in ECE I have 120 students. How many few may be paid full amount, few may not paid. But after a month of admissions, so principal wants to pull this report. Okay, so in that case, how actually your database, how they will communicate with the database? Hey, I need this data, right? So that is where they can group the data based on the department, and they can apply the sum of your fee, right? So that will solve the that will solve the requirement of performing the aggregation on top of a group, right? So understand the importance, guys. So in any kind of a business owners pull the data in the form of reports. So they don't go and look at each customer base. Okay, so let us take an example. DMart owner doesn't look at each customer level data, right? So they will look at the report that got generated by daily or monthly or uh, quarterly or half yearly or yearly, right? So they will look at the report. Okay, for this day, these many product got sold. Okay, and these many customers visited our store. This much sale happened for today. So how they are getting all these details? So these details, when they need these kind of details, they have to communicate with the database, right? So how they are communicating? They have to communicate with the group by class. Otherwise it is not possible to extract a group based or set of results and apply the aggregations on top of it, right? So here in the similar fashion, let us understand one particular example on the sample data that we have. Okay, we have the employee table. Wherein I have my department number and the salary of each employee. Okay, so now I want to know how much money I am spending on each department. Okay, how much money I'm spending on each department. So in that case, you can actually use select department number, comma, sum of salary from employee underscore details. So your group by will always come after your from clause. Okay, so group by department underscore number. Okay, so when you use your group by clause, internally your database will group the data based on that column, meaning the same value. For example, if your department number column have 10 value, okay, so 10, 10, 10, so it will group these three records. Okay, so if you see this, this is how you report, right? Okay, this is how we generate the report in each department. This is the money that you spent, right? Similarly, in each department, how many employees I have, how many employees I have. So when you do this, you can get the employee count. Okay, so this is how you can actually utilize your group by clause, guys. Okay, so these are very small examples, but we'll do deep dive into group by along with all the aggregation functions. Okay, so we use group by with max, min, average, right? So we see everything, and we'll see very good examples on group by tomorrow. Okay, so along with the group by tomorrow, we're going to see the data integrity concept called constraints. Okay, so once we complete the examples on group by, we will see constraints concept tomorrow. Okay, and then a day after tomorrow, we'll go for joins. Okay, and then one session for analytics functions. Okay, so advanced analytics functions. So these are the things that we'll discuss this week, and then we'll close SQL by this week at any cost. Okay, and starting from next week, we will jump into the cloud computing. Okay, so that is the plan for us, guys. So be ready. So tomorrow is very important. So we'll see the internals of group by. How we'll take more examples, and we'll understand its behavior. Okay, how it is working with the nulls, right? How it is working with the different aggregation functions. We'll solve some interesting problems in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining once again tomorrow.
Thank you.